The Bloody Building Introduction. In the heart of a long-abandoned industrial district stood an infamous structure known to the locals as the Bloody Building. Once a thriving garment factory in the early 1900s, it was now a decayed monument to tragedy. The factory was shut down after a fire claimed the lives of over 100 workers, many of whom were locked inside by their greedy employer. Over the decades, the building became a hotspot for ghost stories, unexplained disappearances, and paranormal activity. Despite the warnings, a group of college friends eager to prove the legends were just that, legends, decided to spend the night inside. What they uncovered would forever change the way they viewed life, death, and the thin veil that separates the two. The story. It all began on a chilly October evening. Nathan, a thrill-seeker with a penchant for urban exploration, challenged his friends, Maya, a skeptical journalist, Alex, a tech-savvy paranormal enthusiast, and Sarah, a shy yet curious history buff, to join him on a night in the Bloody Building. Armed with flashlights, cameras, and a Ouija board for added drama, they set out to uncover the truth. As the group approached the building, a sense of foreboding settled over them. The factory loomed large against the moonlit sky, its broken windows like hollow eyes staring into their souls. The iron gates screeched as Nathan pushed them open, and the group stepped into the overgrown courtyard. "This place gives me the creeps," Sarah whispered. "Relax," Nathan replied. "It's just an old building." But as they entered, the heavy door slammed shut behind them, as if welcoming them into its clutches. The interior was a maze of rusted machinery, rotting wood, and peeling paint. The air smelled of mildew and something metallic, something like blood. The group set up their equipment, each person taking a different corner of the building to explore. Maya found old ledgers in the office, detailing the brutal working conditions and the fateful day of the fire. Alex's EMF detector spiked erratically, even though there was no electricity. Nathan, ever the adventurer, climbed to the upper levels, where he found a strange red stain on the floor that seemed fresh. Meanwhile, Sarah felt an inexplicable pull toward the basement. She descended the creaking staircase, flashlight trembling in her hand. There, she discovered a makeshift shrine, melted candles, faded photographs of the workers, and a charred doll. "Guys, you need to see this!" Sarah called out, her voice echoing eerily. The group reconvened in the basement, the oppressive atmosphere making it hard to breathe. Suddenly, the Ouija board they'd left upstairs began to move on its own, spelling out a chilling message. "Get out!" Nathan laughed nervously, brushing it off as a prank by one of them. But when Maya pointed out that no one was near the board, his confidence wavered. The temperature plummeted, and a low, guttural sound echoed through the building. "What was that?" Alex asked, his voice shaking. Before anyone could answer, the machinery upstairs roared to life. The deafening sound of sewing machines and screams filled the air, though the floor above was empty. The group realized they were not alone. The spirits of the workers, trapped in eternal agony, began to manifest. Shadows moved in the corners of their eyes, and ghostly whispers filled their ears. Maya tried to document the events, but her camera refused to work. Nathan attempted to lead them back to the entrance, but every hallway seemed to lead them deeper into the building. In the basement, Sarah noticed the photographs on the shrine changing. The faces of the workers became distorted, their expressions twisted into screams of terror. One by one, the group began experiencing visions of the fire, the suffocating smoke, the searing heat, and the despair of being locked inside. Alex, using his equipment, discovered that the building was acting as a conduit for the spirits. The fire had been no accident. It was an act of greed and sabotage by the factory owner who had locked the workers inside to protect his profits. Their souls were trapped, seeking justice and release. The group decided to perform a ritual to free the spirits, using the shrine as a focal point. But as they began, the building resisted. Machinery fell from the ceilings, the walls bled, and a shadowy figure, presumably the factory owner's ghost, emerged to stop them. In a desperate bid to complete the ritual, the group joined hands, chanting a prayer Sarah had found in one of the ledgers. The shadowy figure attacked, sending Nathan flying across the room. Maya screamed as ghostly hands dragged her toward the flames that seemed to materialize out of nowhere. With one final chant, the group completed the ritual. A blinding light filled the room, and the screams of the spirits turned to sighs of relief. The shadowy figure let out a final wail before dissolving into the darkness. The building began to collapse around them. The group fled, narrowly escaping as the bloody building crumbled to the ground, taking its dark history with it. Shaken but alive, the friends stood outside, watching the ruins smolder. They realized they had freed the spirits, but at a great cost. Nathan had suffered a broken arm, and Maya was left with burns that would scar her for life. The experience haunted them, but they took solace in knowing they had brought peace to the trapped souls. Moral: the story of the bloody building serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of greed and exploitation. It reminds us that the past cannot be ignored, and the pain of others must be acknowledged and addressed. Sometimes bravery means confronting the truth, no matter how terrifying it may be.